Using report parts is an excellent example of leveraging Report Builder and SharePoint as a collaboration and time-saving tool. Report parts are report items that you store in a SharePoint document library that is integrated with a report server. These parts can be easily managed and reused in multiple reports. In our AdventureWorks example, the IT department has been asked by the sales department to gather some data from multiple sources and summarize the information. The sales department needs to periodically assemble this information into new reports without having to build the reports from scratch, or even understanding the data tables, relationships, connections, or data sets that are required. Since the IT department is familiar with the database structure, they created data sets for 2 reports and published those reports as report parts for the sales department to use. Let's see how the AdventureWorks IT department created the report parts for the sales department. From the AdventureWorks website, let's browse to the sales subsite where the IT department has prepared 2 reports that we're going to use. The first step in creating a report part is to actually open up an existing report and edit it in Report Builder. As you can see, the IT department has prepared a bar chart report and the necessary data sets to accumulate the information. Now, since the sales department wants to use this along with other reports to produce their own combined report, we're going to need to publish this as a report part. And we do that by clicking on the icon in the upper left-hand side and then click on Publish Report Parts. That gives us the opportunity to tell it where to save the report part. In this case, we're going to save it to the Data Connections library, which is located on the sales subsite, and click OK. And we have 2 options: publish the report parts as is with all the default settings, or in our case, we want to review and modify the report parts before publishing. Now, when you open up a report and publish a report part, it's actually going to display all of the various data regions that's on the report itself. That could be a chart, it could be a table, it could even be a map or logo. In our case, we really only have one area that we're going to publish. So the check mark is already selected by the chart, and it's good practice to rename these metadata elements so that it's easier for the end users to identify what the chart is about. In this case, let's call it the sales year to date versus last year. And you could give a more complete description in this box here if you choose. We also have the opportunity of designating where this report part is going to be published. So we can click on the Browse button and look in this case it's correct, the AdventureWorks Data Connection Report Parts folder, and that's okay. And now we're ready to publish. And once it's published, we'll get an indication here that it has been published correctly. We can close this and actually close the report builder as well. We're not going to make any changes to that. The next step is to verify that our report part is there. So let's go to the Report Connections library, into the Reports Parts folder, and you'll see that it is here, and in fact it is in pending state. So let's go ahead and approve that while we're here. Now we have one more report to publish as a report part. We'll again do the same process, go to the Sales Reports library. This time we're going to select the second one, which is Sales Year to Date by Country, and we're going to edit it in Report Builder again. And again, you can see that the IT department has built a bar graph, and this time it is the sales year to date by country, and they have the appropriate data sets in order to support that. We're going to create a new report part for this report, we're going to click on the button in the upper left-hand corner, Publish Report Parts. Select our document library again. It's going to be the Data Connections document library. Click OK. And we're going to review and modify the reports and allow us to actually choose what components on this report we want to publish. In this case, we have multiple. We do not want to publish the logo, but we are going to publish the bar chart year-to-date sales by country. And that looks like a good name, so it's very descriptive of what this represents. We're going to open the dialog box and browse just to verify that we are browsing to the correct location, which is the Data Connections Report Parts folder. That's okay. And then when we're finished, we're going to click Publish. And we should see a green check mark here indicating that it has been published successfully. We can close this dialog box, and we can actually close the report builder itself and go back to our sales report connections library, go into the report parts where we published these report parts, and it is listed here in pending state. Let's go ahead and approve this as well. Now the IT department has completed publishing the 2 report parts, and it's up to the sales department to use these report parts. So let's go see how the sales department can use the report parts to create a new report. The easiest way to create a new report using Report Builder and reporting services integrated with SharePoint is to first go to the document library where you want to save the report. In our example, we'll be using the Sales Reports document library. Go to the Library Tools section and click on Documents. Then click on New Document and select Report Builder Report. This will automatically open Report Builder to the default Getting Started wizard. You could create a new report using any of the standard data regions, such as the table, matrix, and add an existing report part to it. But in this example, we will start with a blank report. Once opened, click on the Insert tab and the Reports Parts icon to open the report parts gallery. If you don't see the ones you want listed, you can use the Add Criteria option to select a document library or filter the results, and then click the search icon. Here you'll see the various report parts that are available to you. To add them to a new report, simply select the report part and click and drag it to the design area. Once there, you can make modifications to it as necessary. In this case, let's just resize it a bit and add a second report part called Sales Year to Date versus last year to the new report as well. And this is going to be moved over so we can see it easily on the screen. Now let's preview the report by going to the Home tab and select Run. This will display what the report will look like in render mode, and of course you can click on the design and make any additional changes that are necessary. In this session, we've seen how multiple team members can leverage report parts to reuse existing report elements and data sets to create meaningful new reports.